Hey there, and welcome to This Explainer. We're going to do something a little bit different today. I want you to imagine I'm not just your host, but actually a fully grown towering date palm tree. Yep, you heard that right. I'm looking back at my youth to share my story with you because I really want to help you understand the true, lasting value of your own hidden struggles.
So tell me, do you feel crushed today? I'm talking directly to you young students out there watching this. Are you feeling completely weighed down by heavy expectations? You know the feeling, right? Endless exams, maybe a failing grade, or just those impossibly hard subjects that make you feel like you're literally suffocating under a weight you just can't lift? Well, I ask because I want to connect your academic stressor right back to my own early life. Believe it or not, I know exactly how that crushing weight feels.
Section 1. Crushed under the stone. The weight of early struggles. Picture this, a burning desert, golden sand stretching out literally as far as the eye can see. And me? I was just a tiny little date seed buried deep under layers of that scorching sand. But inside that little seed, there was this fierce spark of life. I wanted to reach the sky, feel the wind, grow under the warm sunlight, kind of like your own desire to succeed, right? To finally get that difficult subject, to graduate, and just be free. But man, my reality was totally different. I was trapped in pitch darkness, pinned down by a massive, dense stone, and completely unable to push upward. Every single time I gathered all my strength to push, that rock didn't move a single millimeter. It was brutal.
Section 2. A Whisper in the Wind. Finding a New Direction.
Honestly, I felt like a complete and utter failure. I got incredibly sad, crying out about my terrible fate, totally certain I was stuck under that stone forever, no sunlight for me ever. But then, right in the middle of that silent, oppressive desert sand, a really gentle wind passed through, and it whispered, "Do not complain. Look downward." Let's just pause and let that sink in for a second. Look downward? I was so confused. What in the world could possibly be down there in the dark? But after thinking about it for a bit, I slowly started to realize something pretty profound. If the path above is closed, blocked by this immovable rock, then maybe, just maybe, there's a path below.
Section 3. Growing deeper in the dark. The unseen effort. That realization was a massive shift for me. I completely changed my direction. Instead of wasting all my energy hopelessly pushing up against a stone that just wouldn't budge, I started sending my roots deeper down. For days, I hit hard soil. I fought dry sand. Weeks turned into months of feeling just absolutely exhausted. I was doubting myself constantly, asking, am I doing all this for nothing? But finally, after years of agonizing, unseen effort, I reached hidden underground water. And here's the thing, developing critical thinking, mastering hard subjects, building real study habits, it's not an overnight fix. It takes quiet, grinding struggle in the dark where absolutely no one is clapping for you, just like my roots pushing through that dry, stubborn earth.
Section 4. Breaking through the surface. Finding the narrow path.
Now, reaching that underground water awakened this crazy powerful strength inside me. I didn't just have hope anymore. I had real foundational power drawn from deep within the earth. So, armed with these massive deep roots, I pushed upward again. The stone was still incredibly heavy, and nope, it still didn't move. But because I had grown so much underneath, my whole perspective changed. I noticed this tiny, narrow gap right at the edge of the stone. So, instead of trying to blast straight through the rock, I grew patiently. With sheer determination, I squeezed my way through that tiny space. And when I finally popped out into the sunlight, I wasn't some weak little sprout. I was remarkably strong.
Section 5. Surviving the Sandstorm. The Ultimate Test.
Time passed. As it does, I grew into a tall date palm tree, branches reaching for the sky, roots holding the ground super tightly. Then, out of nowhere, a terrible sandstorm hit the desert. The sky filled with dust, the wind howled with unbelievable force. Honestly, it's exactly like the massive crises we all face when we finally step out of school and into adulthood. The small grass and shallow plants around me, gone. Lifted, broken, and thrown away like tiny pieces of straw because they just didn't have any depth. But me, the deep-rooted date palm? Sure, I was bent heavily by that terrible wind, but I absolutely could not be broken. My deep roots held me firm while everything else was literally ripped away. Section 6. Your struggle is your power. Mapping the journey. This brings us right back to you. Your academic struggles are not a sign of failure. Actually, scratch that, they are the exact mapping of your future resilience. Think about my heavy stone, that unmovable rock pushing me down into the physical darkness. That right there is your academic pressure. The bad grades, the impossible subjects, the exhausting late night studying. And I want to reveal a massive truth to you right now. That heavy stone, the one I thought was my absolute biggest problem, the thing ruining my whole existence, it was exactly the thing that forced me to grow those unshakable deep roots. Without that stone, I would have been a shallow plant ripped away in the very first storm.
See, when your path feels totally blocked, life is actually pushing you to grow deeper. It builds real resilience by forcing a deeper kind of patience. It cultivates inner wisdom through those incredibly difficult, lonely moments of studying. It builds unshakable faith during times of intense doubts, and ultimately, it creates massive, long-term personal advantages for the real future storms of adulthood.
Because at the end of the day, people who do not give up during hard times become unshakable. Literally, no storm in the world can bring them down. If you keep strengthening your inner roots during these hard times at school, if you just keep studying, keep reflecting, and keep pushing through that intense frustration, you are going to stand immensely strong against any future storm life throws your way.
So I'll leave you with one final question today. What is your heavy stone building inside of you? The next time a heavy stone appears in your life, don't complain, because that academic stress, it isn't just a hurdle. It's secretly building your greatest long-term power. Thanks for walking through this explainer with me. Keep growing those roots deep and stay strong.